we will continue with the discussion of development of calculus in India. The earlier discussion was actually something like a pre-calculus, the preparation for calculus, or what Bhaskara called as Bijopayogi for algebra. Similarly, now we will straight away go into the results derived by Madhava. So first is the Madhava series for pi. So the following verses of Madhava are cited both in Yukti Bhasha and Kriya Kramakari. Vyase Varidhini hate Rupa hrite Vyasa Sagarabhihate Tri Sharadi Vishama Sankhya Bhaktam Rinam Swam Prithak Kramat Kuryat. So just this verse will tell you this relation, that the circumference is 4 times the diameter multiplied by 1 minus 1 by 3, 3 shara is 5 plus 1 by 5, Trisharadi Vishama Sankhya, the odd numbers, Bhaktam divided, Rinam Swam, that is both negative and positive, Prithak Kramat Kuryat, go on doing it. So that is the infinite series for pi by 4, what later on was rediscovered by Leibniz in 1674. The other verses of Madhava have to do with the end correction term, we will come to it later. So this is the first result by Madhava. Then Madhava also gave the relation between the arc and the chord, or the arc and the jya and the kojya and the arc. So this is the relation which is again cited in Kriya Kramakari and in Yukti Bhasha. Ishtajya trijyayor ghatat kotyaptam prathamam phalam. So let us first see the result. So jya multiplied by koti, so jya is r sine, koti is r cosine, so the ratio is the tangent of the arc. So this series essentially is the what is called the tan inverse x series, or called the Gregory's series today. The verse of Madhava. So Ishtajya trijyayor ghatate kotyaptam prathamam phalam. So the first term is the ratio of the jya by koti. Jya vargam gunakam kritva koti vargam chaharakam, making sine squared by cos squared as the multiplier and the divisor. Obtain the successive terms. Prathamadi palebhyo athaneya phalatatir muhu. That way obtain all the successive terms. Ekatriyadi oja sankhya bhakteshu eteshu anukramat. From the odd terms which are obtained this way, ojanam samyutes tyaktva yugma yogam dhanur bhavet. So subtracting the odd from the even, the rest will become the dhanu, that is the arc, that is become the this is the chapa, so that is the chord. Do kotyor alpameveshtam kalpaniyam iha smritam. So dhanu is actually the chapa. Do kotyoho alpameva ishtam kalpaniyam iha smritam. So between the jya and the koti you have to think of the smaller one. So in the first quadrant it is sine by cos, otherwise labdinam avasanam syat na anyathapi muhurmuhu. So unless you take the smaller one as the numerator and the larger one as the denominator, you will never have the terms, successive terms becoming smaller and smaller. So that is how this is called the Chapikarana verse. So the jya has been converted to a chapa. You know the jya, from the jya you know the koti. So the ratio you take, and this series will give you the chapa or dhanu associated with the given jya. So this is the Gregory series. This is the other result of Madhava. Next, the third result is the result when you take the 1/12 of the diameter as the arc, or the angle is 30 degrees, then sine is half, cosine is √3 by 2, therefore the tan square is 1 by 3 of 30 degrees. So you obtain a series for the chapa in terms of, so you are considering tan inverse of pi by 6, this series. So it is since tan squared is 1 by 3, you have 1 minus 1 by 3 into 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 whole squared, etc., etc. So, the relation between the circumference and the diameter is best expressed. This is a series which is somewhat faster converging than the Leibniz series. You can see 3 squared, 3 cubed appearing here. The Leibniz series was somewhat slow, 1 minus 1/3 plus 1/5. So, this series was later on rediscovered by Abraham Sharp. In fact, it is one of those series which led to evaluation of pi to 100 decimal places, I think towards the end of 17th century. So, the verse of Madhava, Vyasa Vargat Ravi Hatat, Ravi is Dvadashaditya 12, Padam Syat Prathamam Palam. So, the square of the diameter multiplied by 12, the square root of that is the first term. Tadaditaha Trisankhyaaptam Phalam Syat Uttarottaram. The further terms are successively divided by 1/3. The other odd terms, etc., also appear in the same way as before. So, these 3 series were enunciated by Madhava, but Madhava also enunciated a certain way of calculating using this series. The series themselves are not of much use for calculation. The Madhava series, so if you write it this way, where p are the successive odd terms, this is an extremely slow convergent series. Even if you take 50 terms in this series, it will give the value of pi correct only to the first decimal place, that is 3.1 you can obtain. So, Madhava has given a procedure. So, what Madhava is saying is, add a correction term like this after some odd term, whatever odd term that you want, you sum it up to 1 over 273 or whatever, then put a correction term. Obviously, the correction term depends upon the p value. The verses of Madhava that we first quoted, where the pi series, pi by 4 series is enunciated, that verse itself gives you the correction term that Madhava proposed. So, yat sankhya atra harane krite nivritta hritistu jamitaya. So, by going on successively dividing by the odd numbers, if you really get bored after some time, so when you get tired or bored, jamitaya nivritta hritihi, then take the following correction after that immediately. So, once you get tired after dividing and summing these terms, whichever point you feel like, you then do the following correction. So, what is he saying? The correction term proposed by Madhava is p plus 1 by 2 divided by p plus 1 whole square plus 1. Let us see from the verse. Tasya urdhvagataya samasankhya, that is p plus 1, tad dalam, half of that, guno ante syat, so that will be the multiplier, tad vargo, p plus 1 whole square, rupa yuto, added with 1, that will be the hara, that will be the divisor, vyasa abdi ghatata pragvat, the diameter is a multiplier as before, tabhyam aptam swam rine krite dhane kshepa eva karaniyaha, so you add it or subtract it depending on the place in which you are there in the series. Labdhaha paridhihi sukshmo bahukritvo haranato ati sukshma syat. In fact, the resultant value is quite accurate, much more accurate than summing that series for many more terms. That is the Leibniz series or just the base Madhava series. If you go on summing it for 100, 200 terms, not much advantage can be obtained. Using this correction term will give you much better results soon enough. So, the first correction term that Madhava proposed was minus 1 to the power p plus 1 by 2, p plus 1 by 2, p plus 1 whole square plus 1. This is the, there is also a 0th order correction which was not stated by Madhava. We will see later on while analyzing this correction. Pardon me? This is for any p. You go on, stop at whatever p, when you feel tired, put this correction. You will get a result which is much better than going and summing many more terms in the series. That is what he is saying. Then later on, another verse of Madhava is quoted, and this is said to be a sukshmatara, better correction. Ante samasankhya dalavargaha saiko gunaha sa eva punaha. So, samasankhya is p plus 1, the end even number, p is the last odd number, Samasankhya Dala, that is half of it, Varga square of it, Psycho multiplying adding 1 to it, that is the guna, that is the numerator. Yuga gunito Rupayutaha multiplying it by 4 times, adding 1 to it, Samasankhya Dalahato p plus 1 by 2, dividing it by p plus 1 by 2, Bhavet Haraha, that will become the divisor. So simplification will give you p plus 1 whole square plus 5 in the denominator. So this is called the more accurate correction of Madhava. The Shankaracharya in Kriya Kramakari says this is a Sukshmatara, this is the much more accurate, much more finer correction term due to Madhava. So how does this help? In fact, if you go and calculate 50 terms, that is up to p is equal to 99, using the just this correction, the correction of Madhava, then you will obtain the following value which is attributed to Madhava. So this verse appears in the Aryabhatiya Bhashya Nilakanta Somyaji, saying that the following verse was given by Madhava for an accurate value of pi. Vibudha netra gajahi hutashana triguna veda bhavarana bahavaha nava nikharva mite vriti vistare paridhimanamidam jagaduhu buddhaha. The wise say that the following is the circumference of a circle of diameter nava nikharva. 9 into nikharva is 10 to the power 11. So a circle with diameter 9 into 10 to the power 11. The following is the circumference. What is it? Vibudha. Vibudha is the number of devas 33. Netra is number of eyes 2. Gaja is Ashtagaja 8. Ahi is fires, the elephants, serpents, that is 8. Hutashana is fire 3. 3 is 3 itself. Guna is Triguna again 3. Veda is 4. Bha is nakshatras 27. Varana is again Gaja 8. Bahava is the arms 2. So Vibudha netra gajahi hutashana Triguna veda bhavarana bahavaha, that is this number 2827 4333 88233. So this value of pi accurate up to 11 decimal places was given by Madhava. Now both Yukti Bhasha and Kriya Kramakari not only give the end correction term, they also tell you the derivation of that. They will give you an argument by which this p plus 1 by 2 by p plus 1 squared plus 1 or the more accurate correction of Madhava were obtained. So if you carry out that procedure further and further, you will see that actually that end correction term can be expressed in terms of what we saw in one of the earlier lectures, the old familiar object, a continued fraction. There is this story of Mahalanobis going to Ramanujan and giving him a problem, something he read in the newspaper that day, and Ramanujan gave an answer. So then Mahalanobis asked, how did you find out? Ramanujan said, obviously this problem involved a continued fraction. So that is how I think Madhava is also one of those persons, I think, who thinks in terms of continued fractions naturally. So it is 1 by 2p plus 2 plus 2 squared by 2p plus 2 plus 4 squared by 2p plus 2. So 1 by 2p plus 2 is just the lowest order correction, which we have not mentioned at all. 1 by 2p plus 2 plus 4 by 2p plus 2 is the first correction of Madhava. This correction is given by 1 over 2p plus 2 plus 4 over 2p plus 2. This is the third order correction. 4 squared over 2p plus 2 is the this correction. So the next order correction will be 6 squared over 2p plus 2, which is not mentioned in Kriya Kramakari, but if you follow the same method, this is what you will get. So today we can do a tabulation. So we can write down the Madhava series 1 minus 1 by 3, put the correction term and find out what will be the accuracy of pi in number of decimal places. Say if you go 50 terms in the series. So if you put no correction terms, as I said, only 1 decimal place will be accurate. You have 1 correction term, 5 decimal places, 2 correction, the second order correction term, it gives you 8. Third order, first order is 1 over 2p plus 2, that is not stated in the book. Second order is the first correction given by Madhava. This is the correction which Madhava said is fairly accurate. That gives you pi to 11 decimal places if you go 50 terms in the series. So if you use the next and the higher order correction, you will get 17 decimal places. Interestingly, Sadratnamala of Shankaravarman gives the following value of pi correctly to 17 decimal places. Now, so now that we have an expression per AP, right, we plug it in here. Now that we have a continued fraction for 1 by AP, we just plug it in here, then C minus a sum of finite terms in the Madhava series is equal to a continued fraction. Now instead of going a sum of finite series, you just take the first term only and put in the continued fraction, then you will get what we can call as the Madhava continued fraction. So from that series you can immediately go, once you have the correction terms written as a continued fraction, we have a continued fraction. And just for comparison, I think in 1656 again Lord or Viscount Brouncker, whose name is already familiar to us in the context of the Varga Prakriti or the Peltz equation, he gave this continued fraction. Wallis had an infinite product which Lord Brouncker converted into a continued fraction. In fact, okay, now having given the correction terms, Madhava found a simple way in which the series itself can be transformed to appear like a more faster convergent series. Once you have these correction terms, you can use it and convert the series itself. So that is the next thing. So having done the correction term, so basically this is a way of rewriting the series itself. This is how Yukti Bhasha starts explaining. 4D into 1 minus A1, A1 is the correction term, plus A1, they are cancelling, plus A3 will cancel with minus A3, 1 minus 1 by 3 will remain, plus A5 it will cancel with minus A5 in the next term, minus into minus plus 1 by 5 will remain. So this is only the original series, only you have interpolated the correction terms in between and you are going to transform the terms of the series by doing this. So it is like writing an infinite series. So you have 1 minus 1/3 plus 1/5. So all that you do is put something here which will all cancel out and regroup the terms. Put few things here which will all cancel out and regroup the terms. You will get a different series. Now the thing that you put in, that is where the cleverness comes. Those correction terms are the best things to be put in, because that is what will transform the series into a faster convergent series. So this correction divisor 2p plus 2, which we did not use at all, that is the lowest order correction term. That is, to this series after 1 by p you just say minus 1 to the power p plus 2 1 over 2p plus 2, that is the simplest correction term. Madhava's correction term was more complicated, Madhava's second correction term is even more. So if you use just this 2p plus 2 and plug it in here, for 1 over a1 2 into 1 plus 2, for 1 over a3 2 into 3 plus 2. So put it in and go on, then what you get a series like this, and this series was expressed by Madhava this way: Vyasat Varidhi Nihatat Prithagaptam Triyadi Ayug Vimula Ghanaihi Trighna Vyase Swam Rinam Kamasha Kritva Paridhi Aneyaha. So Triyadi, 3 etc., Ayug, odd numbers, Vimula Ghanaihi, 3 cube minus 3, Ghana of which the root is subtracted. So those are the successive terms. So here as you can see, while the Madhava series goes like odd numbers in the denominator, here this series is going like cubes of odd terms in the denominator. Obviously it is faster converging, and this has taken into account the lowest order correction term 2p plus 2. Now you put, instead of 2p plus 2, anyway before that there is another transformation that you can do, and that transformation is done in this Karana Paddhati, one of the later works on astronomy. So there in Karana Paddhati it is observed that these two terms can be grouped in this way: the successive odd cubed minus the root, so 4n minus 1 cubed and 4n plus 1 cubed minus 4n plus 1, this can be simplified this way. Then what happens, you are going to get a series which involves the 4th power of successive even numbers. So it is even more faster converging. So that is the next transformation: Vargaihi yujamba dvigunaihi nirekaihi vargikritaihi varjita yugma vargaihi. So 2, 4 etc. squared multiplied by 2 and minus 1 squared once again, and subtract the square of the number again. Vyasancha Shadgnam 6d Vibhajet Palam Swam Vyase Trinighne Paridhis Tathasyat. This is the verse in Karana Paddhati which is giving you the series where the successive 4th power of the successive terms appear. Now let us put the first correction stated by Madhava as AP. If you do that, you are going to get fifth powers of successive odd terms as in this series. So that is even more faster convergent. So that is what is happening. So if you take 1 by AP to be this, and then plug it in this formula for the transformed series, what you are going to get is this. C is 4d into 1 minus 1 by 5 minus 16d, 1 over 3 to the power 5 plus 4 into 3 minus 1 over 5 to the power 5 plus 4 into 5. Sama panchahatayo ya rupadi ayujam chaturghna mula yutaha. So same thing, fifth power minus 4 times the mula, and these terms tabhi shodasha gunitat vyasat prutagahdeteshu vishamayute samaphala yutim apahaya syat ishtavyasa sambhavah paridhihi. For given the given diameter, this will be the circumference. So this goes like fifth power of odd numbers, so much better convergent than the previous one. Now we go to the second correction divisor of Madhava, what he called as the Sukshma correction. Kriya Kamakari and Yukti Bhasha do not mention what is the series that we get. So but now we can write down what it is. So we just put that 1 by AP, then we see we get a series which essentially goes like the 7th power of the odd numbers, which is equivalent to 7th power of the odd numbers. So if you put them, each term will go like this: 3 cube minus 3, 2 squared plus 5, 4 squared plus 5, 5 cube minus 5, 4 squared plus 5, 6 squared plus 5, etc., etc. So this is how this series goes. Now the beauty of this Madhava's transfer, pardon me, this AP is Madhava's AP, 2 corrections. We'll go back through the whole thing once again. You see, Madhava has given 2 corrections. These are the 2 corrections given by Madhava. This will give you the 5th power, this will give you the 7th power. This is the 7th power. This one, this correction term, this transformation series is not given in Yukti Bhasha or Kriya Kramakari. This one is given. This is giving you that 4 plus 3 to the power 5 plus 4 into 3. The 1 over 2p plus 2, which was not given by Madhava, that the 0th order correction, that will give you the 3 cube minus 3, 5 cube minus 5. This is the 7th power. The Madhava correction actually corresponds to the 7th power. So the beauty of this kind of transformation, so we are using this divisor, the 3rd order divisor of Madhava, and that will give you the 7th powers. But the beauty of that series is you can put even divisors which are not these end correction terms. Even then it will give you a good transformed series. So some of these examples are mentioned in Kriya Kramakari. So you just take AP is equal to 2p, not 2p plus 2, which was the optimal one. So AP is equal to 2p will give you this series. This is a series mentioned in Yukti Bhasha and Yukti Deepika. Yukti Deepika is Shankaracharyar's commentary on Tantra Sangraha. Kriya Kramakari is Shankaracharyar's commentary on Leelavati. Both of them contain Sanskrit verses attributed to Madhava. Not only does it give this series, it also gives you a correction term in the end. So this is another example where an end correction term is also mentioned. So these are the transformed series of Madhava. So with this we come to an end of Madhava's work on Paridhi Vyasa Sambandha, the relation between circumference and the diameter. So let us review where does all this work stand in the history of mathematics. So we should take a quick look at history of pi. So the Rind papyrus and Babylon, they have values of this order 3.16, 3. Shulva Sutras we saw had 3.08. There is a slightly better value in Manava Shulva Sutra. Jaina text adopted square root of 10. Archimedes gave this inequality. Ptolemy had this recurring decimal 3.146666. He worked in sexagesimal place value system. The Chinese are supposed to have discovered 355 by 113, the next sort of rational approximation after 22 by 7. This 355 by 113 is really very good, it is good to 6 decimal places. Now the method adopted is this what I mean by polygon doubling is essentially either you take a hexagon inscribed and a hexagon circumscribing a circle and go on converting into a 12 sided figure, 24 sided figure, or you take a square inscribed and a square circumscribed, go on doubling into octagon, etc. So as you can see, for even for Ptolemy's value, it is estimated that you need to have 6 steps and it is 384 sides polygon you have to consider. To get the Aryabhatta value, you need to take 4 steps from an octagon. It is 1024 sides are needed to get the Aryabhatta value. Now till the time of Aryabhatta, there were no good algorithm to even make this calculation. You should remember that this polygon doubling method essentially involves using right angle triangle arguments, which involves calculating square roots of quantities. Until Aryabhatta's algorithm for the square root was available, square root had to be calculated with much greater difficulty. So once Aryabhatta's algorithm for square root was available, it was only a matter of the amount of effort that you put in to go on calculating polygons of higher and higher order to approximate the circle. So as you can see, between Aryabhatta, there is really, between this Chinese value and around the same time Aryabhatta, there is really no great improvement till you come to this great mathematician called Al-Kashi, who was in the West Asia, Samarkand. He did 6 into 2 to the power 27 sides. He was a very great calculator, Al-Kashi, and he obtained pi to 16 decimal places, and Madhava obtained this 11 decimal places. Of course, he had an infinite series with end corrections for doing so. Viete, polygon doubling, 2 to the power 16 sides, Romanus again, and Van Keulen, I think, is supposed to have filled a whole book with his calculation, 32 decimal places. And Isaac Newton came up with an infinite series. This was, I think, during those 4-5 years when he was away from Cambridge due to plague or whatever. So he came up with this a different infinite series. We will see it in a minute. So these are the results for pi. Now later on, Abraham Sharp, as we saw, he had this tan inverse 1 by root 3 series. So he calculated it to 71, and later on a very different kind of formula came due to John Machin. This was calculated to 100 places. Now from here to I am going to 17 million, there are so many in between steps, many great people come in between, but this is what is of interest to us. There is a result of Ramanujan in 1914, which was used by Gosper in 1985 to calculate pi to 17 million, which was a record at that time using what is called a modular equation. And around our times, in the last couple of years, I think we are around 5 trillion decimal places of pi. So exact results for pi, the first one is of course Madhava's, and he had so many of them, many results. Viete had this infinite product, Wallis also had another infinite product, Brouncker had this continued fraction, Newton had this infinite series. He only estimated first few terms, he inverted some other series and obtained this. Even the sine series and cos series, Newton evaluated a few terms and then said the other terms are also going to be similar. Gregory's tan inverse x, Leibniz pi by 4, Abraham Sharp, John Machin, and this is the modular equation given by Ramanujan in a paper in 1914. So I am displaying an extract from the collected works of Ramanujan, the way the equations appear. So this was a paper which appeared in Quarterly Journal of Mathematics in 1914. So this was published after Ramanujan went to England, but it is said to contain much of his older work only, and he gave about 50-60 series in that paper, and he says that this is one of the good series. It gives, each term in the series gives 8 decimal places of pi accurately, and in fact in 1980s this series was used for a determining entirely new kind of algorithm for obtaining pi. So with this, the Paridivyasa discussion we can finish. Now we come to the other major work of Madhava, which is establishing the sine series, cosine series, and calculation of the sine table. So when you have an arc, if BC is an arc, CD is its bhuja, bhujajya, DO is its koti, kotijya, and dE is its Shara. These are the three quantities. So the Jya, Koti and Shara are functions of the arc. Now the arc is measured in terms of minutes or in radian measure, whichever way you want. So the Shara is called Versine, it is 1 minus R into 1 minus cosine, Koti is R into cosine, Jya is R into sine. Now we had this Aryabhatta relation, to which I am again coming back and explaining to you the kind of refinement Nilakantha made of the Aryabhatta relation to enable the calculation of sine values accurately. So the idea is, the way Nilakantha arrived at that refinement, I am just trying to explain to you. You take the arc, so the arc is something ES or wherever, divide it into n equal arc bits. So the same thing will be later on useful in considering the proof of Madhava's proof of the sine series also, as given in Yukti Bhasha. So whatever arc you have, divide it into n bits, and then the jth and the bhuja, the jth koti and the jth shara can be defined. So Cj Cj plus 1 is the jth arc bit in the, when you are dividing the whatever given arc, which may be here, into n arc bits, this is the jth arc bit, each of them are of equal length. You think of a midpoint for that, you think of the midpoint of the previous one. So Bj is the bhuja here, this is the koti Kj, and this will be the shara. So Cj Pj is the bhuja, Cj Tj is the koti, Cj Pj is the bhuja, I am sorry, Cj Tj is the koti, and this Qj plus Pje is the shara. Okay. Now these Bjs, Kjs and are also called Pinda Jyas, Pinda Kotis, Pinda Sharas. Pinda means gross or for a lump of. That Jyas at in between points are the desired points, these are the tabular Jyas or whatever, the lumped. Now the Jyas and Kotis at the midpoint, Mj plus 1 and Mi, we can denote them by Bj plus half, Sj plus half, Bj minus half, Sj minus half. So same standard notation, and all that you will need is, there are so many perpendicular lines coming this way, coming that way, and just these two radii. So many similar triangles will be formed. So you choose the two appropriate similar triangles and you will get relations. So the Bj plus 1 minus Bj, okay, what is this alpha? Alpha is the chord length of Cj plus 1. Cj plus 1 itself is S by n, where S is the total arc, it is divided into n equal bits. So Cj plus 1 arc is S by n, the alpha is the chord. So this one, this chord associated, that is the alpha, Cj plus 1 is S by n, alpha is the associated chord. So you will get Bj plus 1 minus Bj is alpha by r, the koti at the midpoint, and the difference of the koti will be the bhuja at the midpoint, and you couple both the equation, you get this equation for the second order sign difference. So that is the essential derivation of Aryabhatta relation given in the Aryabhatiya Bhashya of Nilakantha Somayaji. So the sign difference, 1 minute, Bj plus 1 minus Bj is related to the koti at the koti jya at the midpoint. The difference of the koti jyas or the difference of the sharas is equal to the bhuja jya at the midpoint. Combining the two, the second order sign difference is alpha by r whole squared into Bj, and if you put j is equal to 0, the same thing will be this, therefore this can be related to delta 1 minus delta 2. You had a question?
So my question is, why do they take the Pinda Jya? Is it because, why? Because they can't pinpoint the point, or?
No, this is to give you a handle on how to calculate sine at any point. You are taking a given arc, dividing it into n small bits, and each of them from the start to the end of each arc bit, you call it a Pinda Jya, that is all.
But you just interested because
You are interested in a sine of an arc, large arc, which you have divided it into n arc bits. So it is later on when we discuss the proof of this, we will I think I will be going into the proof of this, then I will tell you why this is being done. Even for the Paridhi Vyasa Sambandha, you are dividing the arc into n bits. This is the same way. In fact, we need not have gone through this n bits. It is just the fact that I have a transparency which has the same diagram. We could have thought of each of these units as 225 minutes, not as S by n. The same relation will hold. The sign differences are proportional to the sign at Bj. The second order sign differences. First order sign differences related to the cosine, and the first order cosine differences are related to the sine, and that is about all. Now, what Aryabhatta did was to use this equation with the following two approximation: delta 1 minus delta 2 as 1 minute and B1 as 225 minutes. So, B1 is the first arc bit which was of length 225. The corresponding sign was equated to the arc in the first approximation, sin theta being taken nearly equal to theta for a small theta. So, Aryabhatta made this approximation. So, with that he obtained a sign table. You want, we have seen that sign table earlier, but let us see. So, Aryabhatta's sign for 225 minutes is 225 itself. The first sign difference is 224 minutes. The second sign difference is 222 minutes. Third sign difference is 219 minutes. Like that it goes. Now, what does Nilakantha do? He derives this equation which is exact. Now, you have to do calculations with it so as to give you approximations, and he will give you approximations which are better than what Aryabhatta gave, so that you get better results. So, Nilakantha's approximation is sine of 225 minutes, take it as 224 minutes 50 seconds, and this ratio, the first sign difference by the first sign, you take it as 233 minutes 30 seconds. What would this have been in Aryabhatta? This 1 over 225 itself. Delta 1 minus delta 2 is 1, B1 is 225. So, this would have been taken as 1 by 225 by Aryabhatta. Nilakantha is giving a slightly better value. Shankaravarya in his commentary on Tantra Sangraha has given a still better approximation. B1 is 224 minutes 50 seconds and 22 thirds, and this ratio is 1 over 233 minutes 32 seconds. So, you use this in this equation, then you have already, you know B1 and you know this ratio also. You can use immediately, you can use this immediately to calculate the sign difference. From that the next B, next sign difference, next B, like that you can calculate B1, B2, B3, X. This is the difference method that Aryabhatta gave. Only Nilakantha has given you better approximation. He has refined the Aryabhatta's relation for second order sign difference. He derived it in Aryabhatiya Bhashya, he derived the exact form of it, but it is understood that Aryabhatta himself had it somewhat along these lines only, and he improved upon Aryabhatta's. Essentially, in today's notation, this is the j plus 1 sign difference, this is the jth sign difference, that is proportional to the jth sign divided by a certain quantity which depends on the arc bit h, and it is this quantity which is being approximated here successively. Okay, now we will go to the sign series given by Madhava. So, I had just described Nilakantha's refinement of Aryabhatta's second order sign difference relation. Now, we go to the infinite series that for sign that Madhava gave. So, this is the verse: Nihatya chapavargena chapam tat tat phalanicha haret samula yugvargaihi trijya varga hataihi kramat chapam phalani chadhodo nesyopar yuparityjet jivaptyai sangraho asyaiva vidyan ityadina kritaha. So, this is your arc, square of the arc by radius, samula yugvarga. So, 2 squared plus 2, 2 squared plus 2 into 4 squared plus 4, etc., etc. You can convert that into 3 factorial, 5 factorial, 7 factorial, etc. So, it is the well known sign series, and in the end he says that the same series is summarized by what is called Vidwan, etc. We will say what it is in a minute. Then Madhava has given another set of verses for the Varsine or the Shara, that is 1 minus cos. So what is the Versine series? So cos x is 1 minus x squared by 2 factorial plus x4 by 4 factorial etc. So 1 minus cos x, which is Versine x. So this is equal to x squared by 2 factorial minus x4 by 4 factorial plus etc. Right. So this is the series Madhava is giving. Nihatya chapavargena rupam tatat phalanicha. So the verse is very symmetric. Nihatya chapavargena chapam tatat phalanicha. Nihatya chapavargena rupam tatat phalanicha. Haret vimula yugvargahi trijya vargahate kramat. So the same kind of thing. And ultimately that will lead to this series for the Versine. So in the end Madhava says Sharaptyahi sangraho asyaiva stena strityadina krita. So this whole series is to be obtained to get the Shara or the or Versine, and the same thing has been summarized in stena, stri etc. So what is this Vidwan, what is this stenaha etc. This will be explained in another lecture on sign table that will come later. So basically Madhava not only gave the series, he also gave a set of mnemonics by which you calculate the first few terms of the series. So using this mnemonic for the first few terms of the series, you can calculate any sign or any Versine for any angle to a given level of accuracy. So this Vidwan, Tunnabalaha, Kavisha Nichayaha, Stenaha, Stri Pishunaha etc. These are the mnemonics for the first few coefficients of the R sign series and the R Versine series. From that you can calculate the sign and Versine for any angle, that any arc that you want to a particular level of accuracy. So Madhava always couples an exact result with an approximate way of calculation. He gave the pi series, and then in the same set of verses he gave you the first correction term also. In the same way he gave the sine and cosine series. At the same time he mentions that this can be quickly approximated by using Vidwan and Tunnabala, the kind of mnemonics. So Madhava also listed the 24 tabular R signs. What are these 24 tabular R signs? For 225 minutes, 450 minutes, 675 minutes, for which Aryabhatta had given the sign table. So those are collected in a set of verses which start with Shreshtham, Nama, Varishthanam etc. a set of verses which are quoted in various commentaries, Laghu Vivritti of Shankara Varya on Tantra Sangraha. So they coincide with the modern values up to the third. So this is the sign table of Aryabhatta, which was improved upon by Govindaswamy, which is further improved upon by Madhava. So this is in minutes, this is in seconds, this is in thirds. So up to thirds it will coincide with the modern values that we know for sign. So if you think of it in decimal terms, it is accurate up to 7-8 decimal places, sign table. So this is the sign table for 24 R signs given by Madhava. Now we will finally go into a topic which was the question of the instantaneous velocity. What was the kind of improvement that was done by the Kerala astronomers to what Bhaskara had done earlier. So Bhaskara had used the equation of center in the simplest form, but the actual equation of center is something like this. It's sine inverse of R sine of the anomaly. This is the mean value, this is the apogee, and these are the coefficients. This is the mean epicycle, this is the mean longitude. So this is the anomaly, the difference between the mean longitude and the aphelion or the apogee depending on the object for which you are writing the equation of center. Now when this angle, when this anomaly is small, you can rewrite the sign as angle itself. So the whole thing becomes much simpler. But Nilakantha, or you can rewrite the sine inverse as x itself. So the equation of center looks much simple, it is just a sine term, but the actual thing is a sine inverse function of the sine of anomaly that you have to consider. This m is the time dependent quantity here. So when you calculate the velocity, you should differentiate this with respect to this time dependent quantity. So what is involved is the derivative of the sine inverse function is what will appear, and Nilakantha in his formula for the instantaneous velocity obtained the derivative of the sine inverse function, that is something of what we all know. So this equivalent of this is what we obtain. So this occurs.
Referring to an elliptical orbit, or is it anything to do with the shape of the orbit?
No, the equation of center itself will take you from the uniform circular motion to non-uniform motion. So it is equivalent to moving in an elliptical orbit, which will also give you a non-uniform angular motion. So to the first order in eccentricity, the equation of center will mimic the elliptical orbit. So in the elliptical orbit also, you say that the area law of Kepler will tell you when you are close to the aphelion, the thing will move faster, when you are far away it will move slower. So it is the same kind of thing that, so for small eccentricity this equation of center is as good as working with a ellipse. The other aspect of the ellipse is the distance, which we were not considering at all. One is only working about the angular motion. You are looking at the stellar object, the planet, in relation in the background of stars, and the actual distance of the planet is a different kind of an issue. So in Tantra Sangraha, Nilakantha has quoted this verse, Chandrabahu phala varga shodhita trijyaka kriti pradena samharet. So this is basically the 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared, that is characteristic of the sine inverse x. And he says specifically this should be done for the case of moon, but one should do it for sun also if need be. So in terms of the formula, so if we take, this is the equation of center, this was the equation of center that Nilakantha was considering, and the derivative that he has obtained is something like this. Nilakantha in his Aryabhatiya Bhashya has tried to give some explanation, but this is not really the kind of explanation that we would like to know for the derivative of a sine inverse function today, but he has tried to explain how this term 1 by square root of 1 minus x squared comes. This verse Nilakantha actually in Jyotirmimamsa, he explains that this verse is actually due to Damodara. So it is not his discovery, it is due to his teacher Damodara, who is the son of Parameshwara. Now Achyuta Pisharati in Sputa Nirnaya Tantra, he has given the derivative of the ratio of two functions. He constructs the equation of center by, he of course gives Nilakantha's result of derivative of sine inverse of x. He also constructs the derivative for another model of planetary motion. This model of equation of center is due to Munjala, given in Laghu Manasa. It involves a variable denominator here, which is depending on the anomaly. So that m is the function of time here. So derivative of this will involve knowing the derivative of ratio of two functions, and again Achyuta Pisharati is able to construct the derivative in the same way that we use today. So in terms of the work of Kerala school, there are perhaps other things also. We have only analyzed 2-3 books. We have analyzed what the results as derived in Yukti Bhasha. We have analyzed the results as given in Tantra Sangraha and its commentaries, Laghu Vivriti and Yukti Deepika. We have analyzed Nilakantha's discussion in Aryabhatiya Bhashya, but there are many other works of Kerala astronomy. We do not know what other kind of mathematical developments were or encoded in them or worked out by them. Perhaps there may not be many more, or perhaps there are a lot more, we cannot say right now. But what has been done is fairly substantial. So they start with the infinite series for pi and various approximations by end correction terms, transformed series, something similar to continued fractions also. Then we have the infinite series for the sine and cosine functions, then approximations for calculating them, then the notion of instantaneous velocity and its implications in astronomy. So many aspects of infinitesimal calculus are there in the work of the Kerala astronomers. I have tried to summarize some of those that we have seen in these various books. The proofs of this we will discuss perhaps in the next and the last lecture on to. Some of these proofs will be discussed as given in Yukti Bhasha. So in some sense these results will be repeated once more again and again by discussing their proofs. So, this Ganita Yukti Bhasha, as I said, was first published in 1948, and around the same time a series of articles by C.T. Rajagopal and his collaborators appeared, which discussed the proofs in Yukti Bhasha. Then this English translation by K.V. Sharma and notes. This Kriya Kramakari was edited by K.V. Sharma in 1975. Tantra Sangraha with Yukti Deepika edited by K.V. Sharma in 1977, and a new edition in English translation with detailed notes by Professor Sriram and Ramasubramaniam appeared in 2010. This is a good summary in English of Kerala mathematics. It is a summary of the work in Yukti, the discussions in Yukti Bhasha. Raju's book is a detailed discussion of the mathematical foundations of calculus in India, and his own hypothesis that this was exported to Europe basically by the Jesuit missionaries sometime during 15th-16th century. Since the argument for transmission normally has been made is one of priority. So, the Greeks had discovered something, they had the epicycle model by the time of Ptolemy or by the time of Apollonius, and Aryabhatta is considering epicycle model in 499. So, this was transmitted to India. So, if you want, now you can reverse this kind of argument and say Bhaskara had the Chakravala equation in 1150 and Fermat is considering the same thing in 1650, or Nilakantha and Yukti Bhasha, they have all these interesting results on calculus in around 1500, and they are being rediscovered in 1650, 1670. So, priority is an argument in for cultural transmission and not really textual evidence for works being taken away, translated or studied, then this is good enough argument. This is in summary what Raju is trying to say, many more things he is trying to say. George Joseph is another person who has popularized the study of Kerala mathematics through several books. Berger and Borwein is a detailed history of pi in various cultures and civilizations. Borwein and Borwein are one of those people who are specialized in fast computing algorithms for Ramanujan. There are several papers on Ramanujan by them also. So, with this we stop our brief introduction to calculus in Kerala mathematics. Thank you.